До війни життя було фантастичним.
Before the war, life was fantastic. I was a student and the life was good then.
You didn't have to go and fight, did you? Why did you decide to do that?
Напевно, це дуже складне питання.
It is a very difficult question.
Але для українців це дуже очевидно.
But for Ukrainians, it's just obvious. You are right. I was a student. I was only 21. I could just keep studying or just go abroad. Because I had medical experience and I knew that would save lives. That's why I decided that I would help.
Okay, what we do next?
Since the start of the war, over 52,000 Ukrainians have been trained by the UK in basic battlefield first aid and over 450 in combat medic skills. But this course, named the Platoon Combat Medical Training Programme, is more specialised. As the war has progressed, the needs have changed, and this training has been specifically designed to cover areas requested by the armed forces of Ukraine. The tailored programme now includes things like delivering care with little or no light available, dealing with mass casualties, caring for trauma patients for lengthy periods with barely any resources, delivering care in transit and chemical warfare scenarios.
Друже, як тебе звати? Не чує, турнікет.
The students come from all kinds of backgrounds. Some are doctors, others architects or electricians with no formal knowledge of how to save lives.
This is an intense course, 6 weeks long, around 50 Ukrainian trainees at a time. Today alone, they'll be dealing with around 50 casualties. And it's really just about equipping them as best as possible, as quickly as possible, with relevant skills that will save lives on the battlefield.
His airway was fine before, we don't have to worry about his airway. I think taking them from sort of zero to qualified medic, knowing that they're going to be treating patients on their own and out there, that's a big sort of burden to make sure that you get it right and that they are ready for it, because either way they're going back to a war and they're going to have not enough resources and not enough training. Even if I had them here for 10 weeks, I'd just try to teach them more and more. So it's difficult to know that we're getting it right and that we're giving them the best possible experience, and that's why we put so much effort into it, and that's why it's 6 days a week and long days and intense.
Тому зараз ми
So now we are learning how to get out of our comfort zone. And of course, they are trying to put a lot of pressure on us. There's lots of blood, lots of action going on. And of course, if a person is not prepared for that, they would just get lost. The instructors, they realize that we need to be prepared. And even if the wind starts blowing the other way, we'll be prepared for that as well.
They implement some new stuff for our course, like that training in dark, what is really important, because mostly all the actions are in the dark time due to the FPVs and drones. Again, daytime there are almost nothing is happening, and mostly all the job is during the night. It makes even more hard to treat a casualty when you don't see anything. So you have to think about your light. You have to think about how to hide yourself, because if you switch on the light, the drone will see you, and how to say concealed.
We had some guys who their entire unit were wiped out while they've been here, and they're not there with them, which obviously can make it a challenge. There's one student who I used to see every night on the corridor and then didn't see her again, and that's because her husband was killed in battle. And she was always on the phone to her husband in the corridor, and then she's just lost that support mechanism. So yeah, you pick up on their pattern of life while they're here as a student, and from chatting to them what's going on. And it's quite worryingly normal for them. Every one of them is in a similar situation in terms of the horror. So yeah, it's really eye-opening. How much fluid do you think you've given him?
How difficult is it to say goodbye at the end of the course to them?
Yeah, it's awful. I remember on my first course, I was like, oh, you can go now, you can go back to the block. And they just didn't want to leave the classroom, and we sat there just for 5 minutes, no linguist, just smiling and hugging and things like that, because it's hard to know that they're going back. And yeah, some of them unfortunately don't come back.
This is the first iteration of the course. The aim is to train 300 medics throughout the year. It's being delivered by the UK alongside partner nations, Iceland, New Zealand, USA and the Netherlands. These students are past the halfway mark. In just over a week, they'll be returning to their country to rejoin the fight.
Can I ask how you're feeling about going back to Ukraine and fighting again?
Певно, ніяк.
I just don't really feel anything.
За 3 роки це стало частиною життя.
So this is a part of my life now, that it's been going on for 3 years now.
Yeah, we have to go back and challenge the new things what will happen there. The front line is changing quite significantly, within time. So it's like new tactics again, so new challenges. Yeah, and we'll implement the knowledge we receive here.
And how are you feeling about the future?
I don't know.
Yeah,
We have to do something to make it.
to try.
Yeah.
Infantry is always out there. Sometimes they don't even have time to look at the sky, at the sun. They don't really see it. So I'll be there to save their lives or to improve the life the way I can for them.
Hannah King, BFBS Forces News in the north of England. Thanks for watching. For more from BFBS Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.